YouTube back again. I am going to go over the Week 2 preseason game of the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to stick with this. First and foremost, the Dolphins got a win. Final score was 37-17. QB stats: Tua 16 for 23 for 183 yards and 1 TD. Brissett 8 for 8 for 94 yards and 1 TD. Reed Sinnett 2 for 2 for 7 yards and 1 TD. So all our quarterbacks scored a touchdown. Pretty good. Granted, a lot of that was against the Falcons' third string. Running back comparison: Gaskins 6 rushes for 27 yards and 1 TD, 4 receptions for 44 yards and 1 TD from Tua. Receiving: Mac Hollins led the team with 4 receptions for 44 yards, averaged 12.2 yards a carry, and again, he led the team. Caught a decent pass, juggled the catch at first, but caught it. It was from Tua. It was in the first quarter. First or second quarter, I'm not too sure. I have to go back and look. Jalen Waddle, 3 receptions for 21 yards, averaged 7 yards a catch. I thought he got hurt pretty bad, but he ended up didn't coming back playing in the game. So that was lucky on the Dolphins side of the ball. We got to really be careful with that. I mean, he's going to be one of our star receivers, I hope. Gesicki also led the tight ends, 2 receptions for 43 yards, averaged 21.5 yards a catch. So they're going long with Gesicki, so they're going deep with him, which is pretty cool. I like seeing that. He has the speed and he has the athleticism, so why not? Defensively, we held them to 89 yards. I'm going to get into the rushing side of things here in a minute. Franks 4 for 4 for 46 yards. McCarron 3 for 6 for 43 yards. I hope he's okay. He did get hurt. Calvin Ridley and Matt Ryan did not start or didn't play at all. Van Ginkel had a tackle for a loss. Ogba, his presence was felt. Almost got to the quarterback a couple times. Calvin Munson had the only turnover with an INT. I think that was late in the third, or if not into the fourth. Sam McGuavin played like a madman on defense last night. 10 total tackles, 7 solo, 4 sacks, and a safety. The kick return and the punt return was pretty solid. Malcolm Perry in the kick return had 4 returns, 84 yards, average about 21 yards a return. Noah returned one return for 26 yards, average 26 yards a return. 2 returns in the punt game for Malcolm Perry, averaged 6.5 yards a return, so he had 13 yards total. We only punted 1 time, and that was in the fourth quarter, so that was pretty decent. So back to the run game. This is what's going to scare me. They had 187 yards rushing, but I don't think Baker played and McKinley played. I think they sat. If they did play, it was very minimum. I don't even see them on the stats. Far as stats go, so I don't even think they played. Again, I'm not going to sweat it quite yet, but the rookie for their running backs, Huntley, had 6 carries for 57 yards, average 9.5. Hawkins, 5 carries for 46 yards, average 9.2. And then we're continuing to struggle with scrambling quarterbacks. Franks had 3 carries for 36 yards. He averaged 10.7 yards a carry when he did run it. So we're struggling with quarterbacks that can run. We've seen it last week with Justin Fields. And we've seen it for years. I mean, it's weird because it's hard for us to contain scrambling running backs. I don't know why. But hopefully we can get that figured out by at least week 1, because we have to face Cam Newton, and then we have Josh Allen week 2. So we need to get it figured out. I mean, granted, like I said, it was only our second and third string and fourth string, though, so I don't really want to sweat it too much. But with the Dolphins in the past, we've struggled with running quarterbacks, and our run game is struggling defensively. It seemed like last night. So hopefully we can get those 2 things figured out by at least week 1. If not, it's going to be a long 2 weeks beginning of the season, because Buffalo, we don't want to get their run game going, and then Allen starts doing play action, and then we have to face Cam Newton week 1. So we don't want to get that, make that too much of a problem. The O-line only gave up 1 sack, and that was in the first quarter. So I'm not really too concerned with that. They looked okay. In the run game, not so much. Like I said, Gaskins only had 27 yards. And then Brown had 10 rushes for 47 yards and 1 TD. Not horrible, but I'm not going to... I want to see a 100-yard rusher at least a couple games this season. I want to see it. That takes the load off of Tua, if we can at least get some type of run game. But gave up 1 sack, so not too bad. I'm going to go to the receivers, actually. I want to know what you guys think. I think our locks are Parker, Fuller, Waddle, Preston Williams. Hollins is going to be the number 5, and the number 6 is probably going to be Grant, but we might run 7. I don't know. Who do you think are going to be the receivers? I mean, you have to think. Our 6th running receiver is probably going to run it back on kick returns and punt returns. Or we can have Noah Igbenogany run it back, too. I seen him. He returned a couple last week and this week. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. We have a wide receiver pool right now. A lot of receivers. Key things on defense that I liked. We only allowed the entire Atlanta Falcons 89 yards passing, so that's solid. And most of our starters were out there. Granted, Matt Ryan did not play. Calvin Ridley did not play, so that probably would have changed. But 89 yards to any team, no matter what the situation is in the NFL, that's pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to, discredit because it was preseason, but it's still impressive in my opinion. Comment what you think. I think it was pretty cool. 89 yards allowed. So our secondary is doing well, two games in a row. At least they're starting in the second string. I want to touch on Byron Jones for a minute. Byron Jones, at least in that first couple drives or the first drive, he was struggling in the slant game. He was getting beat like 2 or 3 passes in a row. They were throwing slants, and Byron Jones had no idea what he was doing, it seemed like. I can't really post the video because I don't know anything. I don't want to do any copyrights, but he got beat a couple times there in the slant route and the short passes. He wasn't really playing up on his receiver. Like, if you went back and look at Xavier Howard that game, Xavier Howard was in man-to-man, pushing him off his route, making it miserable for the quarterback to get to him because he's pushing him off his route, and the receiver has to get back on track and get back to his route. Again, I'm not going to discredit Byron Jones. I think he'll get that figured out by the regular season. Couple players to look out for to possibly make the 53 that's making their case is Kirk Merritt and Matt Collins. Matt Collins led the team last night, like I said, in 4 receptions for 49 yards, 12.2 yards average, and led the team. Kirk Merritt had a nice tackle on the opening kickoff. He looked like their kick returner was going to bounce it back out, and Merritt just chased him down and tackled him out of bounds, so it was a pretty good tackle there. He had 3 receptions for 34 yards, 11.3 yards a catch, and 1 TD. Had a nice catch from Bissett in the third quarter. It was like 3rd down, and he got it, and he ran it for 27. So I look for those two to make a big splash at least next week, and hopefully that they can get a spot in the 53. If not, just be on special teams. Far as Tua goes, Tua looked good. I mean, his pocket presence looked good. He was moving around in the pocket, calling plays, changing plays at the line of scrimmage. I'm not sold on him yet completely. I think he's going to be okay, though. I really do. He's looking really good, looking more confident. Last year, in blitz situations, he looked like a deer in headlights. I mean, he made a great accomplishment, which I'll put up on the screen here in like 2 seconds. So, yeah, he completed 8 for 8, 72 yards with at least 5 attempts in the first quarter. Only quarterback to do that this season and preseason. But he's looking good. I think he's going to be all right. I think that they're going to put him in a situation where he's going to win. Brissett also had a nice game, 100% completion percentage. But back to Tua, I mean, I think Tua is going to be the starter for years to come if he can continue to grow like this and develop. But if something does happen, I'm not really worried about it. I mean, a lot of people are going to miss Fitzpatrick. I actually miss Fitzpatrick. But Brissett looks okay. He looks like he's going to be a good backup. But hopefully we don't ever have that topic, you know. So, as far as Tua goes, I think he's starting to prove doubters wrong, and I hope the people that don't like him come around. Game balls. I'm going to hand out some game balls again like I did last week. This was hard. It was between 2 people. And I'm going to give the offense a game ball to Myles Gaskin. This guy. So, he is going to be the premier running back, it looks like. He didn't have many yards rushing, but he came up big for Tua. Had that 1 touchdown run and also had that receiving touchdown from Tua. So, Tua's doing it, working with him a lot in the checkdowns. So, I'm going to give him the offensive game ball. Defensively, it's going to have to go to this guy, Sam McGuavin. Played like a madman. 10 tackles, 7 solo, 4 sacks, and a safety. And he was just activated. Like, he was injured or something, and they just activated him. It was his first game back. So it's going to be fun to watch him, and I hope he continues to play like he did, and we might have found a good defensive player in Sam McGuavin. Next week, I'm going to go more over the defensive tackle spot because there is a defensive tackle vacuum right now on our team, and a couple players I want to go over, see who you think's going to be on the roster. Also, next week's game, I'm actually going to be at that game since I live in Ohio, and the game is in Cincinnati. I'm going to try to make it to that game, hopefully. I'm going to try to get some autographs. If any of you guys watch this video and would like to get an autograph, possibly, let me know. I could try to get it for you. We could work something out and figure it out. Let me know. Comment. Get a hold of me. And we'll figure it out. Other than that, stay safe out there, guys. Phins got their first win. Be happy. We're going to build upon this and take it into the season. Take it into next week against the Bengals. Phins up. Stay safe. YouTube. Peace.